Today was the first time that case was heard in court, and I was one of only 500 people in this video who were on that call. I want to explain what happened at that meeting, whether I think this case will be important or not. There were some wins on both sides of the line in this case. I want to explain in detail what happened. In fact, this thing was very interesting. You guys are going to want to know this for sure. At the end of the video, though, I want to show you something that just happened today that I think will speed up the market's acceptance of cryptocurrencies. And I want to tell you why I think Ripple is the best way to get most of these people to use it. Watch the video until the end to see how shocking this is. As always, this channel really appreciates your help. If you haven't already, make sure to like this movie and join the channel. It only takes a few seconds, but it will make a huge difference for this station. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy XRP or the Flare token, check out the link in the description of this video for my best exchange.so. With that out of the way, let's get started, and I hope you enjoy the material. To start, I want to talk about the new case Ripple was in. I was on the call this morning, and it was pretty interesting. I want to start by explaining what this case is all about. So, basically, some random day trader bought XRP and then sold it again. I'd say he lost about $15. Even though the deal was only for $200, he is suing Ripple because he says they sold him an illegal security. Now, when I first got on the call, I saw that the judge didn't know anything about cryptocurrency, and I was pretty worried. I always tell the judge in these Bitcoin cases that he or she needs to understand cryptocurrencies. This is important because if the judge doesn't know much about cryptocurrencies, they'll probably think it's a security. And that's because it's hard to understand what independence means. If a judge doesn't know anything about anarchy or blockchain technology, it's hard for them to understand that Ripple doesn't actually control XRP. They just do business on the lies network.so. At that point, I was a little bit doubtful. Then, the person who was fighting Ripple came out and tried to ignore the 75,000 XRP holders that John Deaton had gathered. He was basically saying that all of these users don't really matter, because even if they don't want XRP to be a security, it doesn't matter if XRP is a security, and the judge seemed to agree with him when he said, well, why do they even matter? Because if the problem is just between you and Ripple, why do we need these other 75,000 XRP holders? At this point, I thought, oh no, this woman doesn't get it at all. But then things really began to change for the better. When Ripple started making their case, it seemed like the judge kind of changed his or her mind. She said that she went to her first cryptocurrency conference the other day, which I thought was pretty funny. She said, I don't really understand how one guy can say he bought XRP as an investment contract while everyone else says they're just using it for utility. How does this make XRP an investment? So, if I just bought XRP, and the judge said that from her point of view, if I just bought XRP to send money somewhere, that would mean I bought a trading contract with Ripple, right? She was pointing out that it wouldn't mean that you just bought an investment plan with Ripple, which was pretty clear. She continued by asking if there was even a real investment deal between Ripple and any XRP holders, and the answer was, of course, no. So it didn't take this judge long to figure out that, hey, that guy who bought XRP might have thought he was investing in Ripple, but he wasn't. There was no financial contract, so it was a big jump for the judge to say that there was one. It was very amazing how quickly she was able to figure this out. And I think this judge is really good. At first, I wasn't sure how much she knew about cryptocurrency, but she's a very smart woman, and even if she didn't know everything there was to know about it, she knew how the law should apply to it.so. The fact that you were able to explain that to her so quickly was a great start. She then said, hey, how can this one person be trying to make every XRP in the world a security when other places in the world don't even think it's a security? So it's clear that she got the main point very quickly. This one person says he bought an investment deal with Ripple, but everyone else doesn't believe him. So I thought that this was a very good sign. When I thought about why she wanted the 75,000 people who owned XRP to leave the case, it started to make more sense. I think the main reason she didn't want the 75,000 XRP holders to be included was that they made things more difficult. At the end of the day, I think she was already thinking, okay, I'm not going to call XRP a security in this case. Do I really need these 75,000 XRP holders in the case to make that decision? I think she kind of decided, hey, I don't need these 75,000 XRP holders in this case to realize that just because one person buys and sells XRP, that doesn't make it a security for everyone in the world. So, I found that to be very interesting. I think that, all in all, things did work out for Ripple. I really do think that this case will turn out to be nothing. I think the judge will tell the guy who is suing Ripple that he lost $250 because of Ripple payments and then move on. I don't think she's going to decide that XRP is a security at this point. Even she seemed to know that she didn't know much about this case. So I think this is going to turn out to be a big pile of nothing. I think this guy is going to spend a lot of money on lawyers to try to sue Ripple and make this crypto case a classic, but I think the judge will just ask, "What do you want me to do?" This is definitely not something about which I should make a big decision. I'll give you back your $200, but other than that, I don't care about this. Now, he doesn't deserve this $200, in my opinion. This lady, this judge, seemed like the kind of person who would say, okay, well, how are you going to complain if you get your money back? Overall, I really liked her. I think she did a great job, and I was surprised by how quickly she figured out what was important in this case. So now I want to talk about something completely crazy that happened earlier today and will change the way the whole world works. I don't say that jokingly at all. This is huge, and it has everything to do with Ripple and XRP. So, the Chinese yuan passed the US dollar for the first time in history earlier today. China does most of its business across borders with the US dollar. That is really, really big. For the past 2 years, we've been talking about stories about de-dollarization. Everyone has said that this moment will come, and every time people asked for that, they turned out to be cold conspiracy believers. People said that nobody will ever stop using the US dollar. There's nothing else to do. What are they going to do next? The Chinese yuan won't be wanted by anyone. It turns out that none of that is happening. Countries are in a race to get rid of the dollar. Because the US has been using the dollar as a tool, other countries no longer trust it. Why would any country not trust the United States? Or thinks that maybe they won't be able to trust the US one day? Want to keep US dollars when they could just keep their own money? Now, it was hard for them to keep their own money for a while. If they had their own currency, it was hard to get banks to work with them. The United States had the best banking system, and the dollar was the most liquid asset ever. So it's easy to just say, okay, let's use the US dollar. But things change very quickly. As we move to the internet, it will become a place where value can be kept directly. Countries all over the world will find it much easier to build liquid exchange markets. We can see that the digital Chinese yuan is helping to make this happen right now. Now that China's markets are more liquid, they can make payments and deal across borders using their own currency. This means that every country that China does business with will use more of China's cash. So, we are moving toward a world in which countries will stop using the dollar, and that doesn't mean that they won't use the dollar ever again. Even if they do this, it doesn't mean they don't trust the dollar. But it does mean that they are leaving it for some reason, and it could be because they want to make their own money, which was hard to do for a while. It was very hard for countries to make their own money that could be used to pay for things across borders, but with the Internet of Value, we can see that this is getting easier. We are moving toward a world where the dollar will play a much smaller role in international trade. And for a long time, that was the only reason why other countries used the US. The only reason why people used the dollar for trade across borders was because it was the easiest thing to do. But we are going toward a world where you don't need to use the currency of another country to trade with it. And what type of coin and what company want to change this system completely? Well, that couldn't be any clearer. It is Ripple and XRP. And this one gift that I always show is as easy as it gets. The bridge currency is XRP. If the US needs to send US dollars to China, but China doesn't want to keep US dollars, then the US can take US dollars, convert them to XRP, and send the XRP to China. China can then convert the XRP to yuan, and it can go back and forth in the same way. Almost every coin in the world just needs to be able to be converted to XRP. Once it can be exchanged for XRP, it can be exchanged for any other coin in the world. And all of a sudden, XRP is the perfect bridge currency for moving money all over the world without having to use the national currency of one country. You will never have to deal with another country's currency again in the middle of a trade. No one trusts each other, and it doesn't make sense to do it that way because it is much easier to just have everything liquidated into one asset. We are going toward this kind of world. And this picture right here is another reason why I know it will be XRP and not some other project. What you're looking at, and I know it's hard to see, is every present member of Ripple who used to work at a large government institution. Right now, we can see that no other cryptocurrency company has this kind of representation in the government, in big banks, or even in groups like Swift. Ripple is set up this way because they were chosen to change the way this method works. The world needs a new way to settle payments badly, and Ripple and XRP are set up to be that new way. Things are moving quickly in this direction. I never thought it would go this fast, but that means we are much closer to finding an answer, which I am sure is Ripple and XRP. Anyway, thanks a lot for coming, guys. I hope this update was fun for you. If you did, be sure to like the video and sign up for more. It means a lot, for sure. And for now, that's a nickel. Our channel.